Namaste.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Duddham Gitamritam Mahat Sri Hare Namaha. It is my pleasure to be back here in the Hindu Center. Yesterday I mentioned it. Today again I want to mention because I see a lot of different faces from yesterday's audience. So I want to re-mention that it's always a pleasure for me to come back to Hindu Center. I have delivered many lectures. Whether the audience enjoyed it or not, I enjoyed it Each time I enjoyed it. It's a pleasure to be back here. It's almost like in cricket parlance, coming back to the home pitch and playing the test match there. It is about 7:05 time. So 1.5 hours, we'll go up to 8:35 or so. And I will try to finish about 15 minutes before so that we can have a question and answer session. Bhagavad Gita is something which all of you know very well. I am sure all of you have read, studied. Read is a very mild word. You must have studied it a lot. You must have listened to great Mahans, great Swamijis, great Pandits, many number of times. So Bhagavad Gita is very well known to all of you. So what is it that I am going to do here? What am I going to do today here? I want to give a slightly different perspective of the chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, without in any way deviating from the interpretation given by the masters. I am not going to give any interpretation of my own. No, you are not here to listen to my interpretation. I am only going to see the same chapter with the eyes of the masters who have helped us to understand, but from a slightly different angle. Only the perspective is slightly going to be a bit different. Let us start at the beginning. All of us know, everything I say today will be only a reminder for you because all of you know all this very well. In Kurukshetra, the two armies have gathered there, assembled there. A larger army on the Kaurava side and a smaller army, relatively a smaller army on the Pandava side, which itself reveals a very scary and unpleasant fact that even in that yuga, adharma had a higher support. Adharma had a higher support and dharma had to depend on loyal but smaller support. That we see today. Today in our lives, we see it all around us, but it was no different. In Krishna's own time, Krishna was very much there, but this was the case. Anyway, let us come back to our subject. So 11 Akshravani army of Kauravas on one side and 7 of them on this side, on the Pandava side. War has not started yet. At that time, Arjuna suddenly has doubts. They are very natural doubts. They are not doubts of a hero, of a valorous hero. They are doubts of a human being. Doubts of a human being. He tells Krishna, before all that, take my chariot to your space between the two armies. Let me see who have come here to fight against me. At that time, he is full of vigor, full of vigor. There is no doubt, no suspicion, and no loss of morale, nothing. Very heroically, he says, "Come on, Krishna, take my chariot there." And Krishna takes the chariot there and stops it right in front of Bhishma and Drona. And Arjuna looks at everybody. Then he starts trembling. Not because of fear. Not because of fear. Our Arjuna is a very valorous hero. In fact, hero number one of the world at that time, in that year. Why he was trembling? Because he saw on that side everyone being his relative. His grandfather, his teachers, and all his cousins, brothers, relatives, everybody on that side. Then he turned to Krishna and said, "Krishna, am I going to fight them? Am I going to kill them?" Even then he didn't have any doubt whether he is going to kill or not. Am I going to kill them? He is killing them. Worth it? Just for a piece of land. Just for a piece of land. Is it worth killing my own people? No, Krishna, I would rather beg and live. I don't want to do this. And it's a big sin. It's a big sin to kill my people, my own elders, my own relatives. And all for a selfish purpose of gaining a kingdom. This was the background for Bhagavad Gita, for all of us know. Now, his emotions are not unnatural. In fact, we have to appreciate his emotions. His feelings and emotions are very natural. And for such a big hero to get these tender feelings, sensitive feelings in that moment of battlefield, when the testosterone should be pretty high and the morale should be very high, at that moment to get such feelings, tender feelings, he must be a very good human being. No doubt about it. Except that it was a wrong perspective he was having. He was having a wrong perspective that he is going to fight this. If he fights the battle, it will be for a very selfish purpose of earning a kingdom. And for the selfish purpose of earning a kingdom or regaining a kingdom, he is going to kill his own elders, his own teachers, his own relatives. Is it correct? That is a question of dharma he was facing inside him. And then the rest of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna trying to put the perspective correct. What is the correct perspective? That he is not going to fight the battle for a selfish purpose, not for a kingdom. He is going to fight the battle on behalf of dharma, to help re-establish dharma against adharma, and in support of the people who are supporting dharma. They need to be supported, they need to be led, they need to be supported. So Krishna has to now change his perspective and tell him this is not a small fight or a battle for a selfish purpose of regaining a kingdom, but it's a huge battle for dharma. And as a Kshatriya, it is his duty to fight the battle of dharma. This perspective Krishna had to give and change Arjuna's very narrow perspective. From that, make it a very large perspective and take away the selfishness out of it and make him realize that he is going to fight on behalf of the entire dharma and the entire set of people who are standing on the side of dharma. He has to show solidarity with them and stand with them and make dharma a victor. This change of perspective is Bhagavad Gita. Now, these are background material which we should keep in mind when I come to my subject of the chapter 4. One more background information I have to give you to understand the chapter 4 very well. What did Krishna do? He waited till Arjuna said, "I am very confused, Krishna. First of all, the whole first chapter, Krishna just listened. Just listened to Arjuna's wailings, Arjuna's depression, Vishada Yoga. And then second chapter, right in the beginning, Krishna just said 2 slokas. That too a very powerful sloka. He whipped him up saying, Klaibhyam masma gamapartha na etat tvai upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. What does it mean? He didn't want to say, he didn't want to join Arjuna in the wailing and say that yes, you are very right. It's a very painful thing. No, Krishna didn't want to do all that. Instead, he wanted to whip him up and shake him out of this depression. So he said, Klaibhyam masma gamapartha, come out of this fear. Come out of this fear. Na etat tvai upapadyate. Unakku idu alagillai. It doesn't suit you. It doesn't suit you at all. Shudram daurbalyam tyaktva. Give up this weakness. Give up this weakness of heart. Uttishta parantapa. Oh Arjuna, oh hero, get up, wake up. This is the sloka which inspired Swami Vivekananda to give the famous quotation, arise, awake, stop not till you reach the goal. According to Swami Vivekananda, in his lectures he has said, this sloka is the very heart of Bhagavad Gita. The reason I am stressing a bit on this, even without going into chapter 4, which is the main subject of today, is because I do this in many of my lectures in many places. A general assumption in the common public is that Bhagavad Gita is a dry subject, is an abstract subject, is meant for old people, is meant for retired people, is meant as a Vedanta, as a philosophy. Swami Vivekananda realized it's a big morale booster. It's a push. It gives a push to people to succeed in life. To succeed in life. That's what this particular sloka, very first words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that is what he wanted to do. Come on, Arjuna, get up. Uttishta parantapa. Arise, awake, stop not till you reach the goal. This is Bhagavad Gita. That it is a big trigger, big push, big morale boost for action and for success. But in the right way. What is the right way? Again, Krishna teaches through Bhagavad Gita. So first point I want to make today here is that you must have heard this from many great people. Bhagavad Gita is not a dry Vedantic philosophic subject alone. Yes, a lot of philosophic thoughts are there. But the main purpose is to push up a person who is in depression. That was our Arjuna at the start of Bhagavad Gita, and make him a successful hero at the end of Bhagavad Gita. If you look at Bhagavad Gita as a black box, what does this black box do? It takes a person who is in deep depression and then brings him all the way to stand up with a flag and be a great victor. That is what Bhagavad Gita can do. That is what Bhagavad Gita can do for anybody and everybody. Even if you are at the trough of depression, it can make you a great victor, and help you to succeed. That is Bhagavad Gita. Now let us come back. Even then, Arjuna is not waking up. But he realizes that he is not in the right state of mind to take the right decision on what is right, what to do, what not to do. Karpanya dosho apahata svabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasyat nischitam bruhi tanme sishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanna. It's a beautiful sloka where Arjuna is being honest. He confesses, Krishna, my state of mind is very weak right now. I am not in the right state of mind to make up my mind as to what is right, what is not right, what I should do, what I should not do. I am not in the right state of mind. So, he did something very smart. He said, so Krishna, you decide for me. This is a great message of Bhagavad Gita. When we are weak, we should not think we are masters and we will somehow find a solution to our problem. All of us face problems all the time. That is life. But Arjuna gave us a beautiful message that when you face a problem, leave it to God. Leave it to God. So he did that. Yat shreyasyat nischitam bruhitan me sishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I am your sishya. I am your disciple. You teach me. Take me in your hands. You teach me. I take refuge in you. What is good for me, you decide and you tell me that. This is what Arjuna did. Very smart. Very smart. And that's a lesson for all of us. That's a lesson, one of the lessons of Bhagavad Gita for all of us. Krishna was waiting for this. This is the 7th sloka of the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And then if you see, the real Bhagavad Gita starts, the Bhagavad Gita Upadesha of Krishna starts from the 11th sloka of the 2nd chapter. After this, he was waiting for Arjuna to say, no, I am very weak, you decide for me, you teach me, I am your disciple. Now they are no more friends at this point. Arjuna clearly says, you are my guru, you are my teacher. I am giving up, I am handing over my life to you in your hands. You teach me, you lead me. Krishna was waiting for that. Now it's a Guru Shishya, change of situation. Earlier they were friends, cousins, and even more than that, Krishna was sitting down as a charioteer and Arjuna is sitting on a higher pedestal as the hero. Now it's changed. Now Arjuna says, you are my guru, teach me. And then Bhagavad Gita starts. Okay. Then what does Krishna do in the 2nd chapter? He teaches a lot of Gnana, philosophy. I will not go into that. And then he also teaches what is Swadharma, the duty of the Kshatriya, and how a Swadharma or duty should not be given up. And then he went into Sthita Prajna and all that, Indriya, control of Indriyas, senses, all that. Arjuna was listening to all this. And then beginning of 3rd chapter, he asks a beautiful question. Wonderful question. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani gore mam niyojayasi keshava. The meaning of this sloka is, Arjuna asks, Krishna, from what you are saying, I understand that in your mind, Jnana is superior to action. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana. O Janardana, as per your opinion, Jnana, wisdom, path of wisdom, is superior to path of action. That is what I understand. Because whole of 2nd chapter, Krishna was focusing on Jnana, on wisdom. Takkim karmani gore mam niyojayasi Keshava. Oh Keshava, that being the case, why are you pushing me to go for the battle? Why are you pushing me into the path of action? Lovely question. Wonderful question. Okay? Just pass a moment and think. Arjuna is very right. You are teaching me everything about Jnana. And then you are asking me also simultaneously to go and fight the battle. That is path of action. But you are teaching me everything about Jnana, the path of wisdom. And in your opinion, as I read it, Krishna did not say that Gnana Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga. But he says, from what you have been teaching me so far, I realize that in your opinion, path of wisdom is superior. Is superior to the path of action. But that being the case, tat kim karmani gore mam niyojayasi Keshava, that being the case, why are you pushing me into this terrible battle? Terrible action. Why are you pushing me into it? Then Krishna realizes that I have been teaching him wisdom, but my real intention is to push him into the battle, path of action. Now I have to change tack. So this 3rd chapter is full of path of action, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. Then fourth chapter starts. That is where we have to enter into our subject of day today. But without the background, the chapter will not make full sense. It will make sense anytime, but then to make full sense, we have to understand the background of the first, third chapter. Right in the beginning of the fourth chapter, Krishna says, look, this is not a new teaching, new knowledge that I am passing on to you. It's a very old knowledge. At the time of beginning of Srishti, beginning of the whole creation, I taught this to Surya. And then Surya taught it to Manu. Manu taught this to Ikshvaku. And then Ikshvaku taught it to the following successors in that dynasty. So all the kings of the Ikshvaku dynasty, they knew this knowledge. But somewhere along the line, this knowledge is lost. Today I am just dusting it and taking it out and giving it to you because you are my friend and you are also my devotee. Bhaktasi Sakacha says, you are my friend and you are also my devotee. So I am now dusting this knowledge which was lost to the world in between some time. I am picking it up and giving it to you. Now Arjuna, one of the beauties of Bhagavad Gita is the questions from Arjuna. You have to enjoy. You have to enjoy everywhere. Whenever there is a question from Arjuna, it's a turning point. It's a turning point for Bhagavad Gita. And the questions are beautiful. Here Arjuna asks a question. Krishna, you are my cousin. You are my contemporary. But you are telling me that at the start of creation you taught this to Surya. I am puzzled. How should I understand this? How should I understand this? Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katam etat vijaniyam tvam adav proktavaniti. Right in the beginning you say that you have taught this to Surya, and Surya existed at that time, I don't have any doubt about it. But did you exist? Did you exist? You are my contemporary. How should I understand? Again, beautiful question, beautiful way of putting it, very humble way of putting it. How should I understand? He did not ask, how should I believe it? He did not ask, how should I believe it? You are probably lying. No. With a lot of respect, he asked, Katam etat vijaniyam. How should I understand this? This is a sign of a good student. Sign of a good student. If a teacher says something which sounds like fantasy, a good student is going to ask like this, Katam etat vijaniyam, how should I understand this, sir? What you say sounds very impractical, but I am sure you have a good reason behind it. How should I understand? It's the modesty and humility of a student. Then Krishna says, look, I have born number of times. You have born number of times. We all know this today. Automatically it is there in our blood. But imagine if you don't know the whole philosophy. You think that you are born and then you are going to end in this life. Over. Everything is going over with that. This is almost assuming that Arjuna is in that position. Is an assumption. Arjuna is not in that. He is a divine person. He must be knowing all this. But Arjuna is representing the human beings. So Krishna says, no. Me and you, both of us have taken many births. Only difference between you and me is, I know all my births. I know all your births. But you don't know all your births. That is the difference between me and you. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna tani aham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. I know all of them, but you don't know all of them. Now comes the important topic. This is the first part of this chapter. I am dividing this chapter into 5 parts. The first part, we are now in it. The first part is dealing with the avatars. The avatars of God. Okay, that is what Krishna is describing here. Okay. Then he says, Ajobisan abjaya atma bhutanam ishvaropisan prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atmamayaya. He says, even though I am birthless, Ajopi son, even though I am the master of all the beings, even though the prakriti, the nature, is in my control, using that same prakriti, I do appear often. Now a question can come. The whole Bhagavad Gita is question and answer. Some questions are mentioned, many questions are not mentioned, but Krishna kind of assumes our question and answers. So here a question can come in our mind. Okay, Krishna, you are appearing often. Okay, even though you are birthless. On your own you decide and you do appear. Okay, why? What's the purpose? Is it a play? Why? So he goes on and says, Yada yada hi, all of you know this. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham. He gives a reason why I appear often. He says, whenever dharma goes down, whenever adharma becomes very strong, then I appear. And he goes on to say, why? What does he do when he appears? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I appear and then I protect the good people, I punish the wrong people, and I ensure that dharma is established or re-established. And that is why I do appear every time. This is the knowledge of avatar. This is the first part of the fourth chapter. That question of Arjuna, how do I understand? Katham yetat vijaniyat. How do I understand that you have taught Surya right in the beginning of 16? Yes, Arjuna, I do appear periodically, and there is a purpose why I appear. That's the purpose of avatar. And each time I appear, it is for this paritranaya sadhunam and dharma samsthapanarthaya. Now, he also says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma na eti mameti sorjuna. Those who understand my avatars and those who understand my deeds in my avatars, they eventually reach me. They attain liberation and they reach me. Now this is the first part of fourth chapter. That purpose is about avatara and the difference between God and the human being. God takes birth of his own volition. It's a voluntary birth that he takes. It's not because of past karma. Whereas the human being or even the animals, we all take birth because of our past karma. That is the difference between God. And that's why he says, Arjuna, you have also taken many births. I have also taken many births. But difference between you and me, I know all my births. I know all your births. But you don't know any of them. This is the avatara rahasya, knowledge of avatar. Now let us move forward. Now Krishna is on the path of pushing Arjuna into the battle and answering his question, Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana takkim karmani gore mam niyojayasi kesha. Why are you pushing me into this terrible karma, terrible action called battle? So he is answering that. He did throughout third chapter, Karma Yoga. Okay? So now he is continuing. In the second part of this fourth chapter, he continues, saying, you don't give up your action. Don't give up your swadharma, your duty. You have to perform your duty. So with that as the key thing, he also says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam. I think everyone knows this sloka also very well. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasaha tasya kartaram abhimam vidya kartaram abjayam. What does he say here? This is a good, important message for the society. He says, performing action is a must for human beings. Actions are life. Actions are life. I have created 4 different divisions among people. for 4 different types of actions. And the different divisions are based on their gunas. It's not by birth. It's not by birth. It has created all kinds of social problems with wrong understanding or wrong implementation, wrong assumptions, etc. Just to put the record right, Krishna says, Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. I have divided people based on their nature, on their qualities, for different types of work. But why is he saying this? Is he interested in talking about Varnashrama, etc. here? That's not his purpose. His purpose is to say action is part of life. Don't stay away from action. He is on his main path. Arjuna, you have to go and fight the battle. Performing action is your duty. You can't stay away from it. You can't go and say, I will beg and leave. Okay, no, you have to go fight this battle. That's why he says karma is karma, the word karma refers to action. The word karma refers to action. Karma yoga is performing action with the right mindset. With the right mindset. So here he goes into the second part of chapter 4. He goes into details of what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. And he also says you should know all these 3. You means all of us. You means all of us should know all these 3. What are they? Karma is actions which we should be performing. We are told, prescribed to perform. Vikarma is those which are taboo. We are not to perform. We are not to do. Akarma is in a state of not doing. In a state of not doing. So karma, akarma are opposite. I am acting, I am not acting. I am speaking and you are listening. Right now you are in akarma apparently. I am in karma, there is no doubt about it. Okay. But why I said apparently is later on he is also going to say this. You can see action in inaction. That's what he is going to say. Right now you are apparently in inaction. You are not doing anything apparently. But it's not true. You are in action in your minds, in your senses. Your ear is listening, your mind is thinking, analyzing this, evaluating this. Okay, you are in action, but it's not visible. So this is action in inaction. He is going to say this. Karmanya karma yak pashyet akarmani cha karma yaha sa buddhiman manusyeshu sa yuktaha kritsna karma kriti. He says that person who can see action in apparent inaction and who can see inaction in apparent action, he is a wise man. He is a wise man. These are some beautiful analyses of the karma or action. So he says, karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. It's very deep to understand what is right action, what is wrong action, what is the right time to be inactive. These are very difficult to do, but it's necessary to understand. Why Krishna is saying this? Basically that we have to understand what is not to be done and what is to be done. In this context, Arjuna should understand his going away as a sannyasi and taking begging and living. That's what Arjuna says, I will do. That is vikarma, that is taboo. He is a kshatriya. It is not prescribed for him. That is vikarma. That is vikarma. Karma is his duty, swadharma, as a kshatriya, to stand there and fight for dharma. That is his duty and that is karma for him. Now he goes away and does something else, then it is vikarma. If he doesn't do anything, that is akarma. But of the 3, here Arjuna should understand what is his duty. And he has to take the line of action and perform, do the battle. That is what Krishna is trying to push him towards. For that he says, you have to understand what are the right actions to take, what are the wrong actions one should avoid. And there is a time for inaction, but this is not the time for inaction for you. Then he says, Arjuna has mentioned during first chapter discussion, if by performing these actions I will be inviting sins. I will be killing people. I will be killing my own elders, my own teachers, my gurus, my relatives, cousins, and I will become a sinner. I will become a sinner. I will attract papa. That is why Krishna here says, Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagda karmanam tam ahuhu panditam buddhaha. Don't get put off by Sanskrit. Many of you may know, but some of you may not know. Don't get put off by it. It is my duty to mention the sloka and then explain. I will do the explanation here. He says, no Arjuna, don't think that by acting you may attract sin, attract papa. Every action which is started with the right kind of desire, dharmic desire, with the right kind of desire and with the right knowledge, will not attract any sin. You can kill, but it won't attract any sin. Because you are doing with the jnana, with the knowledge that you are standing in the battle for dharma. And you are not going to kill Bhishmacharya. You are going to hit only his body, but his Atma is an eternal entity. And Krishna tells him in the course of the second chapter, he tells him, if you don't kill Bhishmacharya's body, one day or other it is going to fall and die by itself. Don't think that you are going to protect him by not killing him, etc. So, jnanagni dagda karmanam is with this knowledge and standing for dharma when you fight, no selfishness, kama sankalpa varjitaha, giving up any selfish desires. Okay? If you do this, then you are going to be free. Nothing is going to bind you. Okay? And such people are wise people. Tam ahuhu panditam buddhaha. Okay? Other panditas are going to call you as a wise man. This is the second part of the 42 slokas of the fourth chapter. So this I have come up to 19th sloka. The first 9 slokas are about the avatars. The next set from 10 to 19 are about finer details about action. Here, one of the beauties of this chapter is that while he is going to be talking about karma, that is action, karma yoga, somewhere he is going to make seamlessly a shift to what we will see. That seamless shift we will not even realize at that point, but later on we will realize he has shifted the subject, he has changed the gear. We will realize it later. Very interesting. For that, he has put the seed in this 19th sloka, but I will not mention where he has put the seed, because if I say that, then we will know immediately what is that shift. We will come to that. Okay. Now we come to, in that itself, let us say, he also says every proper action, good action, without the selfish interest, is a yajna. He says yajna can be defined as a sacrifice. Yaga yajna, we say. Okay. He says that every action is Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. I think many of us may know this sloka. Good actions without much selfish interest, as that's all finally put together is karma yoga. Karma yoga is a yajna. Is a yajna. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagnav Brahmana Hutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. He says that one who is a realized soul, he will not stay away from action. We must keep this in mind, that Krishna all the time is pushing Arjuna to perform in the battle, not to go away from it. So here he says, go and do your battle, but with a greater purpose in mind, not with the small purpose and narrow purpose of gaining the kingdom, but with the greater purpose of dharma. When you do it, it becomes a yajna. It becomes a yajna. When you do that, then what you are offering is a Brahmarpana. And what the final sacrifice you are doing is again coming from Brahman, from God. Brahma, now that Agni is again from Brahman, from God. That Agni in this context, the very battlefield, Kurukshetra, and the whole battle is the Agni. And that is coming from God. That is Krishna himself. Brahma, now Brahmana Hutam, one who is performing, is also a creation of God. One who understands this and performs his actions as a yaga yajna. In all our lives, our day-to-day lives, if we convert this into our day-to-day lives, every work we do in an office, let us say, whether it is our own business or somebody's business, we are employees, or we are teachers somewhere, we are doctors somewhere, we are physiotherapists somewhere, every bit of work which we do is a yajna, is a offering, is a sacrifice for the larger good, for the larger good. Incidentally, we will get a salary out of it and we will be able to manage our life, our family. They are all side benefits. But the real thing is, it's a great offering for a larger purpose. Larger purpose. That is what is this Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmarpanam, Brahmana Bhutam. Such a person who understands this larger perspective and performs his action in a selfless manner, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, he will attain that same Brahma, that same Brahman, that same God. Brahma karma samadhina. When he performs, he should be in the peaceful, blissful state of mind and perform, I am doing this for the larger good. I am doing this for the larger good. When we work in a company, for example, we are working not some specific small narrow work which we take up and do. We are working for the benefit of the company, and if the company survives and does well, all the employees go home taking the salary package, and if they go take home the salary package, their family is going to do well, their children are going to get good education, their elders are going to have a good care. Like this, every single employee of the whole company. So your contribution helps a very large purpose. And that is Yaga Yajna as per Krishna's teaching here. Now let us move forward to the third part of this. Up to here I have covered up to 24th sloka. Totally 42 slokas are there. Now Krishna is going to say what are the different types of actions. Different types of actions, different types of karmas which are there. Okay? He is going to define each of them. Daivam eva pare yagyam yoginaha paryupasate brahmagna pare yagyam yagyena upajuhvati. Some people, they do upasana of various deities. That is their action. That is their karma. They do upasana. Upasana is praying, worshipping different deities. You go to Anjaneya's temple, Anjaneya is right here. You go to Vigneshwara temple, you go to Shiva temple, Krishna temple, Rama temple, and you do upasana. That's a yajna. That's a karma yajna. Brahmagna pare yagyam yagyena upajukpati. Some people do with actual Agni Kunta, some people do Yaga Yajna. That is some people's. Some people discipline their senses, and that is a yajna. They live life with very disciplined senses, disciplined indriyas. That is a yajna, that is an action by itself, and that is a yajna, type of karma. Some people give up the benefit that the senses look for. The ear likes to hear some things, okay? The eye likes to see some things, okay? One is disciplining the eye, disciplining the ear. That is what earlier I said from the first line of the sloka. Second line, Krishna says, some people They don't discipline their senses, but they kind of sacrifice what the eye sees if it is not the right thing. If it is not the right thing, they sacrifice it. They don't even take it into account. Some people like Ramana Maharshi, I think some things might be happening in front of them, but they will be oblivious to it. Oblivious to it. That is also a yajna. That's a karma. That's a type of karma, he says. Like this, he goes on listing. Various people may do various types of karmas. So here Krishna is giving a endorsement that everyone need not be doing only one type of karma. Different people may do. Somebody may sit and meditate. Somebody may do a puja. Somebody may do hours together of puja. Somebody may do hours together of yaga yajna. Krishna says each one is a karma. Each one is a authorized, endorsed karma. Each person is pulled towards that, and he or she, they do that. Then he says dravya yajnaha, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, tata pare. Some people do with lot of materials, they do the yajna. Some people do yoga. Some people do pranayama. Some people do tapas. So Krishna says, he is listing everything to say all are correct, all are good, and all are endorsed by him as proper karma and with a good approach, with a good result. Then he says, Swadhyaya Gnana Yajnascha Yatayaha Sanshita Vrataha. Also some people do Gnana Yajna. Learning, knowledge. Right now what we are doing is Gnana Yajna. We are trying to learn what is Bhagavad Gita telling us. We have learned many times, but each time we have picked some points, some amount, and every time our knowledge improves. And this is Gnana Yajna, this is a Yajna. That is what Krishna himself says. Some people do Gnana Yajna. They may not be doing puja continuously, they may not be doing pranayama, they may not be doing meditation, but they do Gnana Yajna Swadhyaya. By sitting and taking the scripture and studying it, listening to it, Shravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasanam, they do that, and that is Gnana Yajna. Evam bahuvita yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidditan sarvan evam nyatma vimokshase. He says, gives a stamp of endorsement. He says, evam, in this manner, there are so many different types of actions, and all these are coming from Vedas. All these are coming from Vedas only. So with lot of confidence, you can choose any of them and do any of them, and they are all authorized by Vedas only. Knowing this, you will attain and performing, you will attain liberation. That's what Krishna says. Karmajan viddi tan sarvan evam nyatva vimokshase. Now we come, in my opinion, we are coming to the fourth part of the chapter, and in my opinion, the crux of the chapter. Having listed the whole set of karmas and calling each of them as a yajna, different type, pranayama is a yajna, yoga is a yajna, meditation is a yajna, with materials doing a yaga yajna is a yajna, everything. Having said all that, he says, Shreyan Dravyamaya Yajna Gnana Yajna Parantapa. But Arjuna, understand that Gnana Yajna is superior to all the other yajnas done with normal materials. Shreyan Dravyamaya Yajna Gnana Yajna Parantapa. Gnana Yajna is superior. Now we should ask a question. Why? All those actions, karmas, yajnas, are all coming from Vedas only. You only said Krishna. And all of them are good, endorsed by you. Now you are telling us that Gnana Yajna is superior to those yajnas which are performed with materials. Dravyamaya Yajna. Why? Very next line he says, he gives Sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Every action in the world can attain a fulfillment, level of fulfillment, only when it is done along with the necessary wisdom. Think about it. It's very. This need not be only in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. In our own normal day-to-day work also, if we mechanically do something, or if we do something with a good knowledge about it, there is a difference. There is a difference. That's what Krishna is saying. Shreyan dravyamaya yajnat jnana yajnaha parantapa sarva karma kilam partha jnane parisamapte. All actions in this world attain a sense of fulfillment only when it is done along with knowledge. It's a beautiful sloka. Beautiful sloka. He doesn't say, take it from me. Shreyan dravyamaya yajnat jnana yajnaha parantapa. Jnana yajna is superior to the yajna done with all the materials. Take it from me. He doesn't say. He says, this is superior Arjuna. You may have a question why. You don't have to accept it just because I say. I will give you the reason for it. Sarva karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. All the actions in the world, they get the sense of fulfillment only when they are performed with the right knowledge along with it. Then he is going to say something else very beautiful. This sloka again is a very well-known, famous sloka. Arjuna can have a question. Bhagavad Gita, when we study, we should assume that we are Arjuna. And we should ask questions to Krishna in our mind. And then the next sloka invariably answers our question. I think between two slokas there is an invisible question. That invisible question can come from our mind. Some places Arjuna does ask questions. But many places, okay, right now as I said, Shreyan dravyamaya jnana yajnaha parantapa. Oh, why Krishna? Why so? Sarva karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Now a question can come in our mind. Oh, jnana is very important. How do I get this jnana? It's a good question. Yes, Krishna, it's very easy for you to say that if I perform the action with the right knowledge, it is the best thing, etc. But where do I go for knowledge? I have everything, I can perform actions, yes. But if I have to have the knowledge about it in a very good way, where do I go for it? Krishna gives the answer very next sloka. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. He says, go to your guru. Go to your guru. Go to your teacher. Tat vidhi. Go and attain this jnana. This knowledge is not readily available somewhere for you to pick up. You have to go and earn that jnana. And how? Go to your teacher. And with what mindset you should go to your teacher? This is very famous sloka. If you remember just 4 or 5 slokas out of the entire Bhagavad Gita, 700 slokas, this should be one of them. Tat vidhi. Earn that jnana. How? Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Go to your teacher with humility. Pranipatena. Pariprashnena, with good questions. This is where we say Hinduism does not say don't ask questions. Krishna says go to your teacher with good questions. Pariprashnena. Prashnena is with questions. Pariprashnena is with good questions. Not Vidandavada. Very often Vidandavada questions come. Then a good teacher smiles and leaves it quietly. Okay. But we can understand. Many of us are teachers, I am a teacher. When a question comes to me, I can understand where it is coming from. If it is a pariprashna, we are happy to explain. But if it is coming out with some other motive, then you smile and walk away. Pariprashnena, sevaya, do service to the teacher. If you approach a teacher in this manner, they will teach you jnana. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. They are all, you go to a right teacher, they are all, they have seen the knowledge. They are not having a textbook information, but they have experienced that knowledge. And they will teach you that knowledge. So you choose a good teacher and go to the teacher with a good mindset and good action. Tat viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattva darshinaha. They are people who have seen tattva darshinaha. They have not learned, they have not kept it in their mind, they have memorized. Tattva darshinaha, they have seen the knowledge. Seen means experienced it. You go to a good doctor, the doctor looks at you and then within 2-3 minutes, he sees what's the problem in you. He is a tattva darshinaha. The doctor is, we don't have to think of only some great rishis as the tattva darshinaha. You go to a good doctor, he sees you and in 2 minutes he diagnoses. Okay? He is a tattva darshinaha. You go to a teacher and say, I want to learn this, I want to learn. In 2 minutes the teacher can understand what is your level. And he is happy to teach you, whatever is your level. From there he is ready to bring you up. Okay, but he is a darshinaha, he can even see through you. Not only the knowledge which he has. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattva darshinaha. Now Krishna goes on further. He says, Jnanagnis, I am just picking some important lines from some key slokas. I am not going sloka by sloka. Okay? Because I want to give you within this 1 hour, 1.25 hour, the gist of the whole chapter. He says, Sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi apichetasi papebhyaha sarvebhyaha papakrittamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. He says, gives us a lot of assurance, confidence, even if you are a bad person, even if you have sinned a lot, if you go for this learning of jnana, then jnana as a boat will help you to cross all this. Will help you to. Jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. You will cross this ocean of samsara, ocean of problems, with the help of the boat called jnana. Knowledge. I think when we use the word jnana, when Krishna uses the word jnana, he refers to knowledge. Knowledge at any level, different levels. Highest knowledge, philosophy, or below that, what is karma, how should I perform, or even below that, how should I perform my work. The same words are used in various technological institutions in a material sense. You go to IIT Madras. IIT Madras motto is Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja. It is from Bhagavad Gita. Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja is one who acts, gets good results. Act, get good results. Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja. Go to IIT Kharagpur. Their motto is Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Excellence in action is yoga. So whatever you do, go for excellence. We know the famous book, In Search of Excellence. Go for excellence in whatever you do. Bhagavad Gita teaches you. IIT Kharagpur has taken from Bhagavad Gita that motto. Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Karmasu Kaushalam is excellence in action. Yogaha, it's yoga. It is yoga. No compromise in quality. So he says with jnana. Then he says, Jnanagnihi sarva karmani bhasmasat kurte tata. You perform actions. Arjuna had a worry whether the action will bring him papa. Okay, he says, Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurte. If you do it with the right knowledge, it will burn away anything which comes as a papa or any consequence. It will burn it away. Jnanagni. Jnana is like a fire. And then he says another beautiful sloka, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing more purifying than jnana. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. Jnana purifies things. Now without our knowledge, he has shifted from karma to jnana. This is what I was implying. He shifted the whole discussion. He was discussing about karma. And he was discussing about varieties of karma. And then he said, Swadhyaya Jnana Yajnana. One of the yajnas is also Jnana Yajna. He just made a small seed. That is what I said, as a seed he implanted there for the shift, preparing for the shift. After that he is talking only Jnana. So this chapter, Krishna tells Arjuna. Arjuna started third chapter beginning. If jnana is superior to in your mind, then why are you pushing me into action? No, you should perform action, whole karma yoga. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajjaraha. Whole definition of karma yoga. So perform action, doing this manner, nirashiti, without any expectation of fruits of the action. Nirmamo bhutva, don't think I am performing, don't have the ego that I am performing. And keep me in your mind. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. Leave everything, dedicate all your action with me, and then do your action without any stress. Yudhyasva vigatajjaraha. He went on saying that, do perform action. Now suddenly he has made a beautiful shift to say jnana is very important. And go to your teacher and learn jnana. And without jnana, action doesn't get completion. We saw sarva karma akilam partha jnane parisamapyate. That samaptam, that purnatvam, that completeness is only when action combines with jnana. Now, if we take a pause and we try to understand where is Krishna going with this discussion, we can understand that he says, don't think karma yoga alone is the path. Don't think jnana yoga alone is the path. You need both. I think that is where he is leading. And then he says, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. If you have faith, and if you put intense efforts, you will achieve that knowledge. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. Jnanam dadva param shanti achirenadi gacchati. Once you get that right knowledge, this we can apply in any sense, any level of work or any level of life. It's not necessarily only the highest knowledge of Swamiji's. That at any stage of life, any work which we are doing, that done with the proper knowledge, okay, that will give us a sense of fulfillment, completion, success. So he says, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. If we have that faith and that determination that I need to do it properly and I need to know about it, then Shraddhavan labate jnanam. That person with that intense faith will attain that jnana. That's what Krishna says here. And then he says, Agyascha ashraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati. He says, one who is not performing an action like a yajna, like a sacrifice, one who is not performing with the faith, intense faith, for him there will be lot of doubts. Samshaya Atma, he calls him Samshaya Atma, a man of doubts. Krishna's definition, he will be a man of doubts. Vinashyati, he will get destroyed. Very indirectly he refers to Arjuna only, because in the first chapter he has so many doubts, so much of doubts. Only thing is he didn't express the doubts to Krishna and ask for answer. He came to a conclusion himself. He had doubts, no, I won't fight. He wanted to walk away. But he had a lot of doubts. So here he says, Samshaya Atma Vinashyati. The man of doubts will get destroyed. What is the message for us? Practical day-to-day message for us. We shouldn't have any doubts on our direction. That is the message we can take from here. we should not have any doubts on our action, our direction, the actions which we perform along a particular direction. We should have faith in it. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. We should have faith in it. And then we should perform the action with full happiness and full confidence that it's a sacrifice I am doing for the larger good. Then it becomes a yajna. Otherwise, we will be torn aside by doubts, and we will be one of those samshaya atma whom Krishna refers to, and we will be having a great difficulty. Vinashyati, he says. Na ayam loko asti, na paro, na sukham samshaya atmanaha. Krishna says such a person can never feel happy, neither in this world nor in the other world. Forget the other world. Okay, we are right now discussing how to be good in life, successful in life. Okay, in this life, we shouldn't be constantly pained by doubts. We shouldn't be constantly being hit by doubts. Every morning, am I going to the right office? Every morning, am I going to the right work? Or if you are a student, am I in the right department? Some people first year they take this subject and next year they change and they go to a different course altogether. You should not have that kind of continuous pull in different directions. That is what is a practical lesson from Bhagavad Gita for us. For that he says, do it with a very larger purpose in mind, one, action-wise, and two, earn enough knowledge about it. And when karma and jnana, karma yoga and jnana yoga join together, you will be yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. You will be stress-free. You can perform your battles in the school, battles in the college, battles in the university, battles in the office, or battles of the higher purpose of life. You will perform them stress-free. Yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. Now the final part of this, I am on time. The final two slokas, that is what I came to as the final part of the fifth part of this chapter as the conclusion. Final conclusion from Krishna here. He says, Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam Atmavantam na karmani nivadnanti dhananjaya. He says, one who performs the actions as a yoga, as a karma yoga, jnana sanchinna samshayam, one who uses proper knowledge to cut away all his doubts, destroy all. Krishna, one of the best things about Bhagavad, there are so many, but one of them, Krishna uses strong words, punch words. He doesn't mince words at all. Here the word sanchinna samshayam, jnana sanchinna samshayam, all your doubts, destroy them with knowledge. Yoga sanyasta karmanam. So don't stick only with the knowledge, perform action. And while performing action, do it for a larger purpose, not in a selfish, narrow way. Yoga sanyasta karmana, jnana sanchinna samshayam, atmavantam, be a realized person. Be in control of yourself. Then, na karmani nibadnanti o dhananjaya. Then, your actions don't bind you. You are free of those actions. Three things he says. Yoga sanyasta karmanam, that is karma yoga. Jnana sanchinna samshayam is jnana yoga. So there is a purpose for each of them. The jnana's purpose of knowledge is to destroy all doubts. I am in the right path, I am doing the right way. Okay, if the ball comes this way and if I am going to swing the bat this way, the result is a sixer. No doubts. That is jnana. That comes out of hours of practice. Okay, not any textbook. Yoga sanyasta karmanam, jnana sanchinna samshayam. Atmavantam, be in control of yourself. That's what Krishna repeatedly says in Bhagavad Gita. Be in control of yourself. The right words in Tamil, those who understand Tamil, Unnai Arindal, Nee Unnai Arindal, Ulagathil Poradalam. It's a famous old song. Some of you may know this old song, Kannadasan's lines. Unnai Arindal, Nee Unnai Arindal, Ulagathil Poradalam. Thalai Vanangamal Nee Vaadalam. Thalai Vanangamal Nee Vaadalam. Unnai Arindal, that's the key. Know yourself and be in control of yourself. That's what he says, Atmavantam. Krishna uses the word Atmavantam. Be in control of yourself. Know yourself. Know thyself. Be in control of yourself. Atmavantam. Na karmani nibadnanti dhanijaya. Then he comes to the final conclusion, final sloka of this chapter. Tasmat. He uses a beautiful word. Very often this comes. Another place he will say, Tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. So Arjuna, become a yogi. Here he says, Tasmat. So therefore, Ajnana Sambhutam Hristam Jnana Asina Atmana Chitva Yenam Samshayam. Very long sentence. He says, the doubts in your mind which have arisen because of Ajnana, because of lack of knowledge. Ajnana Sambhutam. Okay? That take the sword called knowledge and cut them away. Cut them away. Chitva. Chitva yenam samshayam. Cut them away. Jnana asina. The sword called knowledge. Take that and cut away all those doubts which are there in your mind. Hristam. Those doubts are sitting here. Destroy them. Use knowledge as the sword. Yogam atishta. Then act as per Karma Yoga. The first part is Jnana Yoga. Act as per Karma Yoga. Yogam atishta. Uttishta Bharata. Once again Krishna does that. Come on, wake up, get up. Get up and do. Get up and succeed in life. Get up and succeed in life. Very simple. Use Jnana to destroy all the doubts inside you and to give a completion, sense of completion to all your action. Perform action. Do it as a Karma Yoga. Yogam atishta. Uttishta. Get up. Get up. There is no time for idleness. There is no need to just loiter around. Go with a purpose. Run with a purpose. Succeed. Arise. Awake. Stop not till you reach the goal. This is the beauty of the fourth chapter. Why I am having a very special interest in this fourth chapter, why this chapter is very special to me, it appeals to me a lot, is he shows that don't think Karma Yoga alone can be a path, or Jnana Yoga alone can be a path, and Bhakti is all the time underlying foundation. Underlying foundation. He says, Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya, dedicate all your actions to me. That is out of Bhakti. Krishna, I am believing in you and I am doing this. I am giving this lecture believing in you and depending on you. You make it successful. You make it successful. I am not the one. I am not the one. I am like a mic. This mic, whatever I say, it is going to amplify it. That is all. And for him, I am like an instrument. He says, Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. He is going to tell Arjuna later on. Okay? I have already killed all of them. I have already killed all of them. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Oh Arjuna, you only become my instrument. And then go and kill them and earn good name, earn the land, earn the kingdom. But I have already killed them. I have done the job, which is invisible. They also don't know that they are already dead. Now you go and apparently kill them. You be the instrument. Nimitta matram bhava. That is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Keep me in your mind all the time. Keep me in your mind all the time. Nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vikatatjaraha. Be stress free and perform actions. You will succeed. Success is assured. So here, the fourth chapter tells us the importance of action, path of action, the importance of path of wisdom, path of knowledge, and how the two are intertwined. The two are like two plates. And those two plates continuously intertwined and with the base foundation of Bhakti Yoga together will give us a beautiful carpet. Beautiful carpet is woven with the plates of Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga and Bhakti. I think this is the message of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the word of God. The word of God. But he is very careful. Never does he say, it is my word, you take it. Instead, everything he explains. Everything logically he explains. I hope that the last 1 hour plus which you have spent along with me is really useful. I hope this has given you a slightly different perspective of looking at the same. The Bhagavad Gita can be seen from so many angles, so many perspectives. So today I thought I will give one perspective. The perspective in which I enjoy this chapter. The perspective with which I enjoy this chapter. The perspective with which I get something significant out of this chapter. That's what I have shared with you. Thank you again to Hindu Center for giving me this opportunity, and thanks to all of you for having come here and patiently listening to all this.
Sri Prabhakar Rao will take any questions for about 10-15 minutes, if you like. You can clarify your doubts, any questions you may have.
I have a question. Like in the Hindu society these days, karma is understood in a way where people just don't involve themselves in anything, saying that why do you want to do this? The karma will take its course and you do it. But what you said just now, Krishna has already killed them all, but they want Arjuna. He wants Arjuna to be the instrument. So it also means that you don't have to be quiet, right? If any injustice is happening anywhere, or if any adharma is happening, you do have to voice yourself out. Because sometimes even my own family says, why do you want to involve yourself in all this? Is that what Krishna is also trying to say?
Krishna is saying Swadharma is very important. Shreyan Swadharmaha Vigunaha, he says in another place in 3rd chapter, 35th sloka. Your duty, even to the level of perfection you can achieve, need not be 100%. Shreyan Swadharmaha Vigunaha. Vigunaha is imperfect. Even to the extent you can do your duty, you do it. It's better to do your duty. So if it is your duty, you must do. But you shouldn't. And he also says, Dharmaha, Bhaya, he says. Don't unnecessarily go and poke yourself into some other areas which are not your duties. Not your duty. Krishna says. So you have to be careful to choose what is your duty. And in your duty, you must go wholehearted, and do your best. Definitely. But Krishna is very clear. A man who said, I won't fight, Krishna taught Bhagavad Gita and pushed him and made him successful in the fight. So that is the basic message of Bhagavad Gita. Don't shy away from action, perform your duty and be successful. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita.
People are depending on you. You have to step up.
My question is coming from a place where, when all atrocities are happening against our temple, our people are just thinking that somebody else will do the job for them, and somebody else will do the action, depending on 1 or 2 people fighting for the cause of temples, and so many things are being looted. I think people are becoming more tolerant to a level where they think it's not their karma to fight for it.
I think here we will stay away from any of these political subjects. Okay, but basically, yes, I think you see a duty, then you step up. As he said, you step up and do what you can.
Anyone else?
I have a question. In the Shloka 25, you mentioned that discipline the senses and sacrifice the things happening around the surroundings.
Come again?
For the Shloka 25,
Yes.
you mentioned that discipline our senses as well as sacrifice things. I didn't understand very clearly, like how to understand this. So discipline the senses I got it. But sacrificing.
Okay, no. Okay. I was taking lines from different slokas. Okay.
No, around
Shrotradini
around that
indriyanyanye sanyam agnishu juhvati. That line from 26 I took to say about disciplining senses. Okay. Shabdadin vishayan anya indriya agnishu juhvati. Second line of 26 I took to say the objects of the senses they give up. That is another yajna. Okay. One is disciplining. Closing my eyes, I don't want my eyes to see. That is one yajna. Other is eyes are open, but I don't care about that sign. See. Okay, ears are open, but when some noise comes, I am oblivious to that noise.
That is
That's
also
a yajna.
disciplining, right? That is also
That's
very
a,
disciplining.
not disciplining senses, but disciplining the mind. The sense is hearing, but mind is refusing to accept it, refusing to even bother about it. That's another yajna. That's what Krishna says. Very, very beautifully subtle things. First line he says, discipline the senses. Disciplining the senses is a yajna. Second line he says, even if the senses are operating in their normal mode, the objects of the senses, you choose and you be selective. That's another yajna. Some people do that, he says. He doesn't say all of them, everyone should do all this. He doesn't say. Some people do that yajna. That's what he says. So these are all various different types. 25th sloka he says those who do worshipping. That is one type of.
So I didn't exactly taken down the
Yeah,
slokas.
okay. 25 he says some people do yajna by upasana, by worshipping. That is one karma yajna. That is one yajna karma. Okay. Like this various types he goes on list. And finally he says Shreyan Dravyamaya Yajna Gnana Yajna Parantapa. His point is various types of karmas are there, but even given all that, the Jnana Yajna is superior. And then the question is, why Sarva Karma Kilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate? Jnana gives that completion. That is where he is going with that from 25 onwards.
I have one more.
One minute.
Yes.
I'll take.
Yes.
So, as a common man, normal man, so like what you say, we do the karma yoga. Then we attending all these things, we also do like Gnana yoga, and then we keep moving. But sometimes, one takes the other over the other. No? Like we are not really karma yoga. It is the proportion or percentage keeps varying. You go back and forth and things like that. But along the way, with the age and experience, it's getting better. Okay, so it's more stabilizing. So is this the right path or right approach? It may happen to everybody. You cannot always a linear thing. I'm doing this one, then I'm also doing. So there will be a to and fro thing happening, right?
You are very right.
So is this the right path?
Yes.
To the knowledge seeking? Okay.
Krishna says, complete it.
So that is one. Is the subsequent question that came to my mind? Is this the age? Does it matter, or it can be even at an earlier age for the children, like in their 30s or 40s? Can they also go into that state much earlier?
Very good question. First of all, this is a journey of evolution. It's not a digital one, 0 or 1. It's not so. It's a journey of evolution. All of us are in a journey of evolution. One. Second, it's not a journey which started with the birth of this Janma. This has started long back, many Janmas earlier. And we are coming on that journey. You might have evolved to this level, I might have evolved to this level, somebody else might have evolved to this level over 1,000 Janmas. So it didn't start when we were born this time. When we were born this time. When we finished the earlier Janma and when we came to this Janma, when we were born, we brought all that with us. Krishna says, I am not saying. Krishna says that Arjuna asks a question. Okay, it is going to come later after the 4th chapter. Arjuna asks a question. Oh Krishna, if somebody has led a very, very practical question. If somebody has led a very, very ordinary life for many years, suddenly he woke up and started focusing on all these things, and then he dies. He didn't complete. What happens to him? Arjuna asked the question. And Krishna says, don't worry, I will give him a good birth where he can continue this. And he will continue from where he left off this time. He is not going to start from zero. Neha Vikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo Na Vidyate, he is going to say. Okay? He is going to say, I will give him a good birth next time where the surroundings, atmosphere is conducive for his continuing this journey. And he will continue from where he left off here. So nothing is wasted. It's like a bank, savings bank where you have put the money and the money remains in your account. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So I think this is a continuous journey of evolution, continuous journey. We are in the right path. All of us are in the right path, no doubt about it. And second, whatever extent we achieve in this life, next life we start from there. And then we are going to continue further to evolve. At one time, our evolution will be complete. Our further janmas are closed, stopped. That is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, all of them, Vedas. Does it answer you?
Okay, we'll take one last question. Sorry, you were going to ask something.
This is a little materialistic question. So one of my cousins is having like Arjuna, a lot of doubts. What is the karma in her life? Like, should she have kids or not? So like how you said, doubts should be struck with knowledge by understanding why you should do one. Is there a particular choice on what karma we want to do, or is there a set of these are must do karmas and these are karmas that you have choice for? Because it's a question these days. A lot of my cousins are like, should I get married? Should I have kids? When they don't even want to have one, but does the scripture dictate it? Like these are questions that arise these days a lot.
Karma, understand it as duty. The word karma, one is, very broadly speaking, it's action. But a bit narrow, if we make it a bit narrower, precisely, it is duty. Now, a student's duty is very clear. How to be a student, to be good to the teacher, to obey the teacher, listen to the teacher, study, regularly study, do all the homework. It's all the student's duties. And he should not be playing mischief during the class. That's all what he should not do. He should not do. He or she should not do. A student's duties are very clear. A teacher's duties are again very clear. An employee in a company, his duties are very clear. Father's duty in a family is very clear. Mother's duty in a family is very clear. A son's duty in the family is very clear. So the moment you look at karma as a duty, then what is your station in life? For that station, the duties are automatic. And all of us we are students somewhere, we are teachers somewhere, we are employees somewhere, we are sons somewhere, we are fathers somewhere at the same time. Then for each position we have set of duties already known, already prescribed. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. How to be, what is the duty when you go as a student to the teacher, to your teacher? That describes the duty. You have to go with humility. You have to go with right questions. You have to do service to the teacher, like this. So our scriptures teach us what are the duties. Our elders teach us. Our observation will teach us also. So understand the word karma as duty, and duty connected to the station in life, what we are in that particular context. Then the duty is automatically defined. Now specific questions like marriage, etc., our scriptures say that it is the duty of everybody to develop develop family, bring progeny, and continue the mankind. That's what our scriptures say. Beyond that, it's personal choices.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Maybe with your permission, I will just give a simple, common example.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
I don't want to take over the stage from you.
Your knowledge, please.
So, if you take an ordinary truck driver, okay, his duty is to transport goods safely from A to B, point A to point B. So that is his duty, and that is what he is paid to do. That is how he earns his living. And he has a skill. He has a driving skill. He has a driver's license for trucks of a certain tonnage, something like that. But he can't fulfill that safely without the knowledge of physics, for example, or chemistry, for example. Because the skill of driving on the road and negotiating the road with the traffic and obeying traffic rules is insufficient. Because he has to be cognizant of what load he is carrying. And I can tell you 99% of truck drivers don't know what they are carrying in there, and therefore it's actually an unsafe practice. They might be carrying flammable fluid, they might be carrying fluid, they might be carrying precision engineering material, they might be carrying semiconductors, they might be carrying all kinds of things. But they are completely ignorant of what's in the container. So when they are moving the container on a road, what's inside is shifting according to the speed and curves that they are taking. So that knowledge, that jnana, is very important to fulfill your duty safely and to get the stuff from A to B. So one might think that, driving a truck is very easy. But actually it's a lot more that we need to know. And I'm just using it as an analogy. So to get on in life and to make decisions, we need both the jnana and the karma yoga. Like for example, if you were to go and see you use the doctor example, right? So if you go to see a surgeon and you need surgery, and you go and see a surgeon, he's got all the certificates on his wall to say he's fellow of this, fellow of that, member of this, etc., for all the top colleges. Would you go to him to do your surgery, or will you go to someone who's had 25 years of experience in doing that surgery? Is that knowledge important, or that practice is important? Practice is really the action, right? Knowledge or action? Which one would you prefer to go to? The guy with the action, right? But he has also studied because he has done it. But this guy who's got all certificates may not have the necessary practice. So you've got to find jnana to support the action. So let me make one final statement here. You all are working people, I suppose. You all are working people? Okay? Is anybody here paid a salary or wage or income for what you know? Is anybody here paid for what you know? For the knowledge you have? Anyone? Put up your hand. What do you do?
I'm a banker.
You're a banker. You have some knowledge. Are you paid for that knowledge? You sit in your office and you get paid for that?
So we do a lot of analysis and
Exactly.
observation and getting
Exactly.
the market data
Exactly.
and everything.
Exactly. At the end of the day, nobody pays you for what you know only. Your company pays you for what you do with what you know. You have to do something with what you know. A teacher, for example, may have a specialized subject in mathematics or chemistry or whatever, but unless he's a good teacher, he doesn't educate and transmit knowledge to his students or motivate and interest and inspire his students, he's not a good teacher. He might have all the knowledge, So nobody gets paid for what they know. Even Stephen Hawking, who is
Genius.
has all the knowledge, but he cannot express himself. So the point I'm making is, if you agree with me, is that both are important.
Very, yes.
Sorry,
When they
just
combine.
want to ask you.
Yeah, sure.
So don't mind me asking that. Just now you mentioned the doctors. One who has a good experience, the other one who has a knowledge and all the certificates. See, like people who are just studying and have come out. If people think that they have just come out, we should not go and we should not get the treatment from them, how will they gain the experience? We should also have faith in them, right? So in that case, the knowledge as well as the practice. The practice, how they gain when they treat the people, right? So does it, like, if we don't go to them, are we not depriving of them like their experience they are going to
I'm
gain?
asking you, what would be your choice? So
Okay.
if you want to give experience to somebody, by all means do it. You know?
You're
But
right. You're
where
right.
these people get their experience from is from all the other patients who don't have choice.
Then public
So they
hospitals
work for a
are very good
hospital,
examples.
hospital assigns the
Then
surgeon.
public hospitals are very good examples.
Yes, and after they get the experience, they go private.
Okay, in a way, like we are going to them.
Yeah. At the end of the day, when they get the experience, they will earn more money. But in a public hospital where the patient does not have a choice of who the surgeon is going to be, they'll get the experience.
I think Mr. Prasad's point is knowledge and action combined gives you very good
Should
sense.
go hand in
Correct.
hand. No, what I wanted to know is, like, we also need to make them experience, like, make them gain the experience.
No doubt about that. No doubt. What I'm saying is, who would you choose?
Yeah,
That was what I was saying.
definitely, like when
Yeah.
we have
Okay.
bigger problem or we want to get it cured, we choose the more knowledgeable, like wise person.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Well, I want to thank all of you for bringing life to Hindu Center today. For those of you who have come here for the first time, namaste, namaskar, thank you for coming. Those of you who have been here before, you will know what we do. But for those who don't, let me just give you a 2-minute introduction. We are almost 50-year-old organization. We don't follow any particular guru. We are not guru-based, but we are scriptures-based. So as you can see, we are Jnana Bhakti Seva. So we have activities in Jnana, we have activities in Bhakti, and we do a lot of Seva. For example, Andy here, sitting here quietly, he's involved in prison counseling. So every weekend he spends his time with, he goes to prison basically. But he comes out. On Jnana, we have lots of workshops, we have a lot of talks, we have courses, we publish books, we publish magazines. So please take one magazine, there's many more out there, it's free. Okay. We also publish books. This book, Ramayana 108, the author is Sri Prabhakar Rao. Okay. Our latest book is this one, which is Parenting the Hindu Way. So if you have any children or grandchildren, this is a good book for you to get. Today's talk on Krishna, so I also want to highlight that we have a book, Krishna 108. All the books are called 108 because there are questions and answers, 108 questions and answers. So they're not sequential as a story. Okay, so you can open the book anywhere and you'll get a question. Okay, and then the answer to it. And they are written by very reputable people. So here's a chapter, Krishna and Women. Okay, you might be interested because Krishna is known to be a very cheeky fellow, of course divine, but he also had other life.